Good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook where I'm going to discuss all the major dollar pairs and gold. Starting off with the DXY as always. What we can see is that yesterday we traded in towards this demand zone that was still open with some liquidity situated below. We made our first reaction into the demand zone. We pushed a little bit up and now we have pushed down once again, breaking the lows, and it's going to be a bit of a waiting game for me once again on DXY, because as of now what can happen is that we simply push down lower from this zone, taking out all these lows. If this happens, then there is a lot of more room to go in towards the downside. Also, if we look at the daily, what we can see is that there is still a lot of room in towards the downside. We took out the highs over here, so it can be a manipulation that we're going to swipe the lows one more time and then get the real move up. But this is something for in the future, and the only thing we can do is analyze the current price action and act upon that. So what I want to do now is wait to see if we can get a reaction up, breaking this supply zone over here, and then maybe one more time to be certain to see price continuing in towards the upside. And otherwise, what I want to see is for price to trade down lower from this supply zone, breaking the lows once again, and then going for these lows over here as a first target. EUR/USD pushed up higher yesterday. I still mark out these highs over here as a immediate target that I want to trade towards. What we can see is that yesterday we did trade a bit lower and then swipe the high once again. On the 1 hour, I marked out this as my liquidity together with this yearly open and the open demand zone over here. So what I would like to see is for price to push down lower towards at least this liquidity, then provide us with something like this. And then I want to take longs up until this liquidity line I marked out over here. So let's see if we can get those longs. There are some other dollar pairs that are also showing this sign where it can retrace down on the 1 hour, taking out liquidity and then continuing up. So I am monitoring multiple pairs as of now. GU on the other hand, let's see what we have drawn out there yesterday. We took out the high I marked out earlier. We already did. Then, as I suggested yesterday, what I wanted to see is I wanted to see some sellers coming into the market. They are now taken out. So something that can happen here, because we also have liquidity open towards at least here, is maybe a new sell in towards the downside. So what you can say is that this high is now strong because it took out all these sellers. And then on the 1 hour, you could say if this low goes, then we can sell in towards the downside towards here. Then you have a 1.58 risk to reward, which is not enough for me. I need at least 2. 2 would be exactly in towards this demand zone. This could be a position, but I'm personally not taking this because I would rather take the longs from here once again, but it's all depending on DXY. If DXY breaks up now, then I am happy to look for a short here towards at least this demand zone. But there are better setups to be played. Then we have NZD/USD. We are trading in towards this supply zone, and I have no clue why I kept this one green because it has to be red. What happened here on the 1 hour as well? What I did is I marked out some liquidity over here in the 1 hour swing. We took out the highs now, so if we can get a retracement down lower, take out this liquidity together with this open demand zone over here. It's the refined demand zone. This is the big demand zone on the 1 hour. It's situated over here. And what I would like to see is for price to push down lower, taking out some liquidity, show us a change of character and then continue in towards the upside. This would also mean that the DXY will trade up higher. So it would mean that the DXY sees a bit of a reaction up, maybe in towards this supply zone over here, taking out some liquidity and then breaking down once again to continue its leg in towards these lows. Preferably, I would see this, and that is because we're going to cover it in a bit, but UJ, I am still in this long position, and it would mean that if DXY retraced up a bit higher, that position is going in towards the upside as well. Then we have AUD USD. It traded up higher in towards the highs, breaking now the swing structure. I think, did we close it with a candle close? Yes, we did. Okay, so on AU we now got a swing break in towards the upside. So what we can then do is wait, because we are not going to trade over here. We can just continue up higher, but it's uncertain. What we also want for AU is now a retracement in towards the downside, maybe towards the 0.5, and then a change of character in towards the upside. But once again, we have to be really patient here for some good A+ setups. Then USD CAD. USD CAD, there was a potential setup yesterday. What we saw is that we started to create some bearish order flow, taking out liquidity over here. On Monday open, we broke in towards the downside. I wanted to see a tap back into the supply zone together with this open liquidity over here. On the 1 hour, it's a bit more clear. There was liquidity open over here. This high didn't take out all this liquidity. Did we even break this over here? No, we did not. So we did not even take out this high. So a lot of liquidity still open here. I wanted to see a push in towards the highs for USD CAD, and then I was happy to look for a short from this zone, continuing in towards the downside. But as you can see, price just dumped down lower, and we are trading towards the yearly open now. What can still happen is that from here we are going to see some reaction in towards the upside, then make a breakdown, and we can continue down shorting. But as of now, with a lot of the pairs I'm trading, and especially the major dollar pairs, because DXY is so uncertain and unclear, we have to be patient and wait. Then UJ, I am still holding on to this position. It was almost at TP, but then reacted from the supply zone I was talking about earlier, pushing us down lower. Now what happened is yesterday we took out all this liquidity over here, and we saw our first reaction in towards the upside. We broke down lower last night. On the 1 hour, it's even more clear. So as of now, first buyers coming into the market, we swiped all those buyers. And if we can see a break of structure over here, then I am certain that we can see some reaction in towards the upside, together with the DXY then having the pullback in towards the upside as well that we talked about. So I am going to hold on onto this trade, and as I said yesterday, I only took this trade still on my challenge, and on my live account I closed it because I didn't want to take the risk anymore. So a bit of risk management over there, but I'm happy to hold this position because it's still technically very valid on my challenge. Then USD CHF. USD CHF also is a bit the same like USD CAD. We have a supply zone here that took out liquidity together, like coming back into this huge supply zone over here. Also, you can say there's a refined supply zone over here together with the monthly open, but then I am more happy to grab it as this big zone over here. We connected the supply chain. Once again, there's a lot of liquidity being situated over here with the descending highs. If we can get a retracement back in towards this supply zone, taking out at least this liquidity, but maybe even this liquidity or this liquidity, then I am happy to wait for a change of character and short this back in towards the downside. Also because in the bigger picture, what we can see daily, for example, we are still really bearish on this pair. So we broke in towards the downside, came back into premium, took out some liquidity because we took out those highs, and then we started to break down even more. So I am definitely watching for this pair to continue in towards the downside. There's a lot of liquidity open underneath these lows. So let's see if we can get some good positions out of USD CHF in the near future. Then last but not least, we have gold. Gold yesterday pushed up in towards the highs, breaking structure in towards the upside. Then this wick was my TP on my second position I had on gold, so made some good profits there on gold this week. Then what I could see, let's hide this one. What I could see is, okay, we took out liquidity here. We broke in towards the upside, making a new 1 hour swing break over here. I then drew out my premium versus discount tool, and I could see that there is a demand zone over here, together with the 0.5 FIB. But most of the times what happens on gold is that it just takes out some liquidity, and then at the next break up in towards the upside, you can continue going long, as happened earlier over here as well with this setup. We took out some liquidity over here. We make a breakdown, taking out the liquidity over here. And then at the break up, I took a long in towards the upside with my stop loss underneath these lows. So I wanted to trade the same setup yesterday, where we came back down in towards this demand zone, taking out liquidity, and I placed my buy stop on the break of the 1 hour fractal structure and wanting it to trade up higher in towards the highs, as you can see over here. Then yesterday around 5 in the afternoon, my time, we almost got taken out with a few pips. Then a retracement back up in towards the highs. Then I went to bed with the mindset of I'm going to lose this position, and this is a certain loss. And apparently yesterday evening we closed around the stop loss once again, but then like last night during Asia session we pushed up higher. And if I look at this now, I would preferably see this take out liquidity, then break up and continue in towards the upside. If this does not happen and we do go towards my stop loss, because to be honest, I don't like these lows. It's really ugly. And together with this 0.5, and if we look at the 4 hour, it's also that this looks like some liquidity to be taken out. So then I want to see a retracement towards at least this low, see a change of character over here, and then continue in towards the upside. So if we do take a loss on this 1 hour position that I took yesterday, then I'm happy to look for more longs if we take out this low over here. Guys, thanks for watching this market outlook where I discussed the major dollar pairs and gold once again. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye.